course, this is a continuation of the desperate attempt by the Lukashenko regime to use people as pawns to destabilize the European Union and, of course, the values that we stand for. And we have repeatedly, firmly rejected attempts to instrumentalize people.
Well, let's get some analysis from Hanna Liubakova, who is a journalist and non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council think tank. Hanna, if this is a deliberate policy by Belarus, what is it that President Alexander Lukashenko is hoping to achieve?
I think Alexander Lukashenko has several goals. Firstly, is indeed a revenge to Western countries, to Poland, to Lithuania and other European countries for sanctions, for pressure that was imposed on the regime for human rights violations and election rigging. I think secondly, it's also destabilization. That's something that Lukashenko has been also doing for years, and that's another attempt to do. And I think thirdly is general escalation, because Lukashenko has to raise costs. He is scared of sanctions, that sanctions will be painful, US, EU, and so on. So he wants to force the EU to talk to him again and to legitimize him by negotiating with him about the migration crisis. So that's why he needs to do it now. That's why he needs to do it as quickly as possible.
So what is it that the EU can do? What can they do? What options do they have?
I think it's really important that the EU does not start talking with Alexander Lukashenko, because that's something that he wants to achieve. He wants to blackmail the EU. It's important to continue imposing pressure, because that's something that Lukashenko is really scared of, sanctions and other types of pressure. And it's really important to consider the migration crisis on the international level, because that's the problem not only of Belarusians, that's not only an internal problem, but that's a problem for the whole continent. And that definitely should be stopped, because that might be an example for other dictators around the world to do the same.
But in the meantime, you've got this very volatile situation on the borders. Poland doesn't want these migrants. Latvia, Lithuania, they don't want these migrants. What is going to happen to these people?
Oh, it's really hard to say. Firstly, of course, they come at the invitation, let's say, of the Belarusian side, of the Belarusian regime, because we know about those state-run tourism agencies that sell visa packages and tourism packages to people in Iraq, in Syria, and generally in the Middle East. So they come because the regime in Minsk wants them to come. So kind of Lukashenko is the problem, not the solution. So he should be dealt with. The people are just, obviously, I mean, that's weaponized migration. That's just, unfortunately, sadly, is it being used as a tool for Lukashenko. So many of them are currently in Minsk. They have to rough sleep. They have to hide, sleep on the streets because they don't have where to hide. I think they also kind of understand that maybe they made a mistake. So if this information is being spread in the countries where they come from, maybe this would prevent them from coming. And perhaps, well, again, right, Lukashenko should be dealt with, not the people. They're just a tool in this crisis.
Hanna, thank you. Hanna Liubakova there.